Hey friends, Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. I'll tell you what we need, more than anything in men's fragrances right now. More elixir fragrances, right? I think we can all agree here, there's not enough elixir to go around. We need more. Thankfully, Carolina Herrera has heard our cry and has given us Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir. This is a normal one. Yes, Carolina Herrera coming in the clutch, giving us a new elixir fragrance that we can all be psyched about. I know for a fact that there's gonna be nobody online taking all kinds of shots at this fragrance because it's a new bad boy, because it's an elixir, because it's in a lightning bolt bottle. I know that's not happening. Everyone is waiting to smell this one before they jump to conclusions, and I love that. So yeah, today we're gonna be talking the new Cobalt Elixir. We're gonna be comparing it to the OG Cobalt, taking a look at the presentation, all that good stuff. I bought my bottle from Macy's and it cost a cool $153. Elixirs are expensive. I'll have this one linked in the description in case you wanna check it out. I guess let's start things off by taking a look at the good old presentation here. So here we have the box, got the name of the house, name of the fragrance, size and concentration on the front. Eau de Parfum Elixir is the concentration. Nothing on the sides, Herrera logo up top. A little bit of info on the back. Then on the bottom, your batch code and your barcode. Batch code is 32571. And the box and the bottle both are fingerprint magnets. So you're gonna have to keep yourself a handy dandy little microfiber cloth around so you can clean it up, unless you don't mind all those fingerprints, because it is just everywhere. So here's the bottle. It's in your bad boy lightning bolt style. Has a nice gradient to it, dark blue up top, black on the bottom. Atomizer built into the top, of course, and the little stand says Carolina Herrera. And then on the bottom, you have your batch code. Let's go ahead and share a couple sprays. The bad boy atomizers are actually really nice. As you can see right there. Good distribution, easy to use. Nothing at all like the old Amen Mugler atomizers of yore. Rest in peace, Amen flankers. So I was talking about this a little bit facetiously at the beginning of the video. This has been getting hated on a lot. The new Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir has been catching strays left and right. Everybody just coming out of the woodwork to dump on this thing, which I thought was kind of interesting because Bad Boy Cobalt, for what it's worth, when that came out, got kind of a chilly reception like this one, where people were immediately saying how awful it was before they even smelled it. And then as time has gone on and people have actually smelled it, a lot of people have come around to like it. So it's one of those deals where you look at that and you think, wow, maybe people have learned their lesson here and they're gonna wait a little bit before they say how awful something is. They did not. It's just like, oh, I hate it. Stupid lightning bolt. So dumb. It has vanilla. I hate it. Stupid and dumb and stupid. Morons. But this is what happens nowadays. It's to be expected. So the original Cobalt, Bad Boy Cobalt, this one is quite fresh. It has a plum note in there that gives it a little different feeling in the opening compared to like apple or grapefruit or bergamot or something like that. There's a little aromatic tinge to it, like a slight minerality, also kind of green along the edges, this one. And then woodiness as the fragrance dries down. Really versatile, easy to wear. So Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir, does it just smell like this, only deeper or earthier or something along those lines? Not exactly. One thing that people noticed pretty much right away when Bad Boy Elixir was announced was the plum is not there in the note breakdown. But when you spray it on, do you get a little fruitiness, a little sweetness in there, something? Yeah, to me, you do. As prominent as here, no. Actually, the more prominent thing in Cobalt Elixir, vanilla. Yes, vanilla again. It's not just vanilla. You get some other type of sweetness in there, some higher tinge sweetness off the top that you could say, oh, is that the plum just trying to creep out there a little bit? Maybe. Again, it's not as noticeable or prominent or anything remotely like it is in the original, where it's more in the foreground. I don't get too much black pepper, maybe a tinge in Elixir. I don't get aromatics the same way I do as the original either. You get a faint faint little bit of earthiness from that truffle note, and then you get wafts of a light smokiness along with that vanilla. The vanilla, again, gonna be the more prominent thing in here for me. Little woodiness, little sage, sure. A little fruity sweetness off the top, yes, but mainly vanilla. And what it actually reminds me of is, at times, like if you took Invictus Victory Elixir, that style of vanilla, and mix that in with bits of the original Cobalt. So at times when I smell this one, Cobalt Elixir, the way that vanilla hits, I'm like, oh, that's pretty much how it comes across in Invictus Victory Elixir. That kind of almost bubbly, sweet, carbonated vanilla, the way that it comes off in Elixir, Victory Elixir, that's kind of how it comes across to me in Cobalt Elixir. Now do keep in mind, these are first impressions. I've only had this for a few days. I've only been able to wear it from open to dry down a couple of times, but that's the first thing that immediately grabbed my attention, is the way that vanilla comes across is in a similar style to Victory Elixir. And you could say with Victory Elixir, the way the vanilla comes across in that one is also similar to some other stuff out there. So kind of get where I'm going with that. It does come across more to me as a fall, wintertime fragrance. You could wear it during spring as well. Not really that much of a summertime scent. As I said before, it's not as fresh as the OG Cobalt. And I would say for more people, the original is probably the more versatile fragrance. I think that that one you can pull off in just about any kind of situation, most people would say. Whereas Cobalt Elixir, you know, it leans a little more toward cool weather, maybe not necessarily like frigid weather, but cool weather or moderate weather, and maybe leans a little more toward evening use, though you could easily pull it off during the day also. It's just between the two, I think this is a little more versatile, like I said, for more people, a little easier to pull off in more situations. So I got an issue with Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir, and that issue is twofold. On one hand, I think it actually smells really, really good. I love that style of vanilla, okay? Maybe I'm basic, whatever, but that type of vanilla, when it's used in the way that it's been done in a number of designer fragrances here lately, I find really easy to pull off, very pleasing. You know, people seem to love it. I get great reactions. So it's one of those things where I'm not gonna smell it here and say, oh, it's awful, it's terrible, it sucks, compared to these other ones who are doing it in about the same way. Because that's very disingenuous, right? If I like the way it comes across in this fragrance, that fragrance, and this fragrance, then I can't say, you know, oh, it smells really similar to these, and I love the way these smell. Oh, but this one, ooh, awful. No, I like the way that smells. So on the one hand, I think the opening here is great. I think the mid, very good. I had my wife actually smell both side by side, and she was really waffling. She was like, I like both of them a bunch, but in different ways. And I would try to get it out of her, well, which one do you like more? And she would just tell me straight up, I like both, just in different ways. So for her, she's put them like right next to each other. You know, I like them equally, just maybe in these situations, that one, in these situations, that one. So on the one hand, there's that. I like the way it smells. I think it's super pleasant. On the other hand, it's derivative. And there's not a huge way around that. There are fragrances that have come out over the past year or two where when you smell this one, you could be like, oh, I can kind of see what you're drawing from here, right? And so if you're the type of person who does not want a fragrance that is maybe drawing on other things for inspiration in a way that becomes pretty obvious, then it may not work for you. If you don't care about that, and you care solely about, does this smell good? Will people like this? Will it get me compliments? Yes, yes, yes. So that's kind of where I'm at here. On the one hand, I like it, and I like wearing it, and I like smelling it. So, you know, when I'm moving around, I catch a whiff, I'm like, it's good, it's real good. On the other hand, when I catch a whiff, I'm like, reminds me of some stuff, a good amount of stuff. So yeah, if you wanna, you know, kind of dumb it down a little bit, you could say that Cobalt Elixir smells like Cobalt if you mixed it with fragrances in the style of Invictus Victory Elixir. So you swap out some of those aromatics, some of the fresher parts of this, you sweeten it up with that type of vanilla, give it that sparkle, that carbonated kind of feel. That's what this is. So it becomes difficult. Do you praise it because it smells super pleasant to you? And I will say the first words out of my wife's mouth when she smelled this was, they're releasing some awesome fragrances this year. That was the initial reaction, and I, again, really love it. So do you praise it for that, or do you put it down or chastise it for obviously taking inspiration from other things that have come out here lately? You know, it's a little bit late to the ball game. Yeah, both of those things, I guess. So I guess I love the way it smells and at the same time am a little bit disappointed, if that makes any sense. In terms of performance, again, first impressions, only worn it a couple times, and I sprayed it on side by side with this one when I was wearing it. This one, the original Bad Boy Cobalt, seems to push a little bit more as far as the projection goes, just that, you know, that freshness kind of leaps off your skin. This one is a little bit heavier, but it does last a long time on my skin. So it's not, you know, 4 hours, 5 hours and it's gone. It lingers for quite a while. Solid performance, good, but again, I've just worn it a couple times. So there we go, Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir. This is gonna be one of those fragrances that catches a lot of hate initially, and then I feel like as time goes on and people wear it more, they'll probably come around to enjoying it a good amount. With this one, I really feel like if you enjoy this style of fragrance that's been coming out lately, that is a little vanilla forward, you'll like it. It's blended well, it's done well, it's super appealing, it's very enjoyable. But if you don't like that style of fragrance, then you're not gonna like this and you're gonna be like, ah, another one. Thankfully, I like that style, so I dig it. But it is, like I said, derivative for sure. So there we go, Bad Boy Cobalt Elixir. If you've smelled this one, let me know what you think about it. Since it's at Macy's website, I'm assuming it's at Macy's across the US. If you've got one, stop in there, give it a smell. Stay safe out there, guys. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.